Welcome to this module, which is entitled Por versus Para. Now, here's the problem that we face. There are two words for the word for in Spanish. We have por and we have para. So in English, we just have that one word for. And whatever the sentence or the situation or the meaning, we use for. But in Spanish, they have two words, por and para. Now, sometimes it's correct to say por in a sentence, and other times it's correct to say para. So the trick is how to know which one to use. Now, here's some examples to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. We could say, it's a gift for my mother. In this sentence, it's correct to use para. And if you used por, it would sound immediately wrong to the ears of a native Spanish speaker. I went to the shop for eggs. In this example, it's correct to use por and not para. So already you can see we have two sentences. In both of them, in English, we just say for. But in Spanish, in one example, the top one, we would use para. And in the bottom one, we would use por. Now the trick is understanding why that is, so that when you speak Spanish, you can make the correct choice, por or para. Let's go through some more examples. Did you reserve the concert tickets for me? This one would be para. Thanks for all your help today. This one would be por. She did it out of love for him. This would be por. I'll give you $100 for the watch. This would be por. For me, I think it's better the other way. This one would be para. Now, there's even more. In some sentences, you can use either por or para and still be correct, but the meaning of the sentence would actually change. Plus, por and para don't just mean for. Por and para can also be used for a variety of other words. For example, by, around, through, along, in order to, on behalf of, by the way of, multiplication, measurements, and a lot more. So it's not just about for, the word for, okay? Por and para actually cover you for a lot of other very useful little glue words in Spanish too. Now, unlike most Spanish courses, I'm going to explain por and para to you in English first, because it's very important that you understand the concept of when and how to choose between por and para. And we'll get on to examples in Spanish later. Now, lastly, a word of warning. Don't expect to get it on your first try. More than likely, you'll probably need to review and revisit this topic quite a few times before it sinks in and you eventually get it. The thing is that por and para is in the top 3 most common mistakes made by people learning Spanish. So it's a very delicate thing. It's more likely that you'll gradually get the hang of por versus para through being exposed to hundreds of different examples. And at a certain point, the penny will drop. Now, it could drop right away, or it could be next month. The thing is to just do this module and then repeat it a few times with a day's rest in between each attempt. It's kind of like a foggy haze. Eventually, it gets clearer and clearer and clearer, but you have to give it time because this is a delicate concept, something very particular about Spanish. It's something that is absolutely foreign to us in English. So be patient with yourself and give it time to sink in.